Good morning, Jai Hind, my dear children. How are you? I hope you all are fine. I want to share one thing with you that what I felt during all those years of my teaching, especially the board students always want to go home early. They always complain that school time is very long. It's very long hours we have to spend in the school. We are not able to get proper time to study. But you are very lucky enough. You cannot say all these things, and I want to see how you will utilize this time in studies. Sociology is one of the main subject for board. So today I will explain your topic so that you can understand. I have already sent question answer, but I thought to discuss these things and explain few points before you. So today I am going to discuss. So listen carefully, and you can ask anytime any doubt. Okay, so don't hesitate. Your priority must be your board exams. Whatever you are doing at home, we are not there to watch and monitor, but whatever we are doing, whatever efforts we are taking for you, what we want in return, we want good result in return. So I hope you all will cooperate with us and do whatever is the requirement of the time, what is the need of the time. So today's topic is demographic structure and Indian society. What is demography? So what is demography? Demography is a systematic study of population of a country, area, community, etc. How this term originates? This term originates or taken from Greek, and this word is composed of two words, demos, means people, and graphene, describe. So the term demography describe the people. The term demography describe the people of the country, the people of particular place. So what we study in demography? We study in demography the trends and process associated with population, including changes in population size, pattern of birth, death and migration, and the structure and composition of the population, such as the relative proportion of women, men and different age groups. So do you know what is the current proportion of men and women in India? Do you know? You have to know everything. When you read something, you have to know everything. You need to understand everything. So there are two types of demography. One is a formal demography and another one is a social demography. So what is a formal demography? In formal demography, statistical and analysis of population is there, in which total number of men, total number of women, total number of youth, working population, rural, urban, every kind of data is present in the formal demography. What is social demography? In social demography, we discuss birth rate, death rate and migration. These three things affect the population of any area. These three things are. Okay. So what we study in social demography? Birth rate, death rate and migration that happens in a particular society, particular country, particular area, everything. Okay. All demographic studies are based on the process of counting, such as the census or the survey, which involves the systematic collection of data on the people residing within a specific territory. So how many people are residing in neighborhood, how many male and female are there, how many migrated people are there or how many migrated from your area. We collect all data. In social demography, we need to collect all data. So demography is a field that is a special importance to sociology, because we talk about humans, we talk about people, so definitely we talk about the people, how their birth rate, their death rate, their migration, everything related to the human. So few points are there. The emergence of sociology and its successful establishment as an academic discipline owned a lot of demography. Two different processes happened to take place at roughly the same time in Europe during the latter half of the 18th century. The formation of nation state as the principal form of political organization and the beginnings of modern science statistics. The modern state has begun to expand its role and function. It had first instance begun to take an active interest in development of early form of public health management, policing, maintenance of law and order, economic policies relative to agriculture and industry, taxation and revenue generation, and the governance of the city. So demographic data are important for the planning and implementation of state policies, especially those the economic development and general public welfare. So you can understand this term by connecting this thing to the present scenario. Write down there is a lockdown. So lots of problems occur during the lockdown. So if you have proper data of the people, how many people are there, you can provide them a proper information. So in this way, demography is very important to collect data. I hope these things are clear to you. Social statistics, when they first emerged, also provided a strong justification for the new discipline of sociology, aggregate statistics or numerical. Characteristics that refer a large collectively consisting of millions of people offer a concrete and strong argument for existence of social phenomena. Distinction between formal demography and a broader field of population studies, social demography. So you need to differentiate between both demography, formal and social. You will be confused. In both we have to collect the data, but there is a lot of difference. Counting number is common, but this is not the only thing we do in social demography. In formal demography, what is our primary concern? Our primary concern is the analysis of the components of the population. We focus on the quantitative analysis, for which it has a highly developed mathematical methodology suitable for forecasting population growth and changes in the composition of population. Population studies or social demography, on the other hand, inquires into the wider cause of consequences of population structure and changes. So what is the basic difference? The basic difference is, in formal demography, we need to collect data. But in social demography, why we need to collect the data is important thing. There is a reason, there is a purpose to collecting data to implement on certain issues. That is the basic difference between formal demography and social demography. I hope you understand. In social demography, we definitely count data, we definitely collect data, but there is a purpose. There is a purpose to collect all the data. How can we provide education? How can we provide anything to them without knowing the facts? So that's why we need. So there is a Malthusian theory of population growth. When you read sociology, a lot of things are there, you have to study regarding them. Every time we cannot force anyone to believe what we believe. We have to study according to the sociologist, whatever the theories they have presented. One day you will be able to do all these things, but today we have to study whatever they are saying, whatever they believe. So here, Malthusian theory was propounded by Sir Thomas Robert Malthus. He argued that human population tend to grow at a much faster rate than the rate at which the means of human subsistence, especially food, but also clothing and other agriculture based product, can grow. Therefore, humanity is condemned to live in poverty forever. What he believed to say that human population's growth rate is higher or faster than other things. Other means food. A grain cannot be grow as fast as human grow. So that is the one reason why human population is forced to live in poverty, because there could not be any balance. You are developing, you are day by day increasing, your numbers are day by increasing, but agriculture, food and other things are not growing as fast as you. So there will be this kind of problem. While population rise in geometric progression, 2, 4, 8 means 2 members of a family have 2 children. So this means they are double. In next generation they are multiple. Parents 2 children have 2 children, so they become 4. So what is the ratio? 2 plus 4 plus 8. So this way we are developing this way, but the food and agriculture cannot. So what is the way? How can we increase prosperity? According to Malthusian, the only way to increase prosperity is by controlling the growth of population. We cannot grow food faster than us, but what we can do, we can control birth rate. He identified 2 ways of controlling population growth: positive check and preventive check. Now, what is positive check and preventive check? Natural disaster cause many people die and the population is naturally controlled, and we can witness what is happening in this world right now. Due to corona, lakhs of people lost their lives. So in this way, this is the positive check, in which natural disaster caused by nature, human lost their life, and this way population growth is controlled or balanced. If one does not take care of themselves, nature will take care of themselves. For example, earthquake, flood, tsunami, so many things are, so many natural disasters are there. Right now we are facing corona, so this is also called a natural disaster. Man is responsible, man is behind all the problem, but directly who is causing? Nature is causing it. As nature is taking revenge, you can say nature is taking revenge. Nature is doing justice, or nature is neutralizing things. So this way, this is the positive check. The second one is a preventive check. This could be man-made. Preventive check: late marriage, celibacy, contraceptives. It means it is in our hand. How can we prevent all those things? How can we control all these things? Many means are available. It's up to us. How can we control all these things? It's in our hand, completely in our hand. And you know, with everything there is a criticism always comes. So this sociologist is also criticized for his theory, and whatever the negative points, according to others, according to his critics, whatever the negative points in his theory, whatever he presented, whatever the negative points of the theory. So what is the First point, that Malthus' theory was challenged by the theorist who claimed that economic growth could outstrip population growth. The most effective refutation of his theory was provided by the historical experience of European countries. The pattern of population growth began to change in the latter half of the 19th century, and by the end of the first quarter of the 20th century, these changes were quite dramatic. Birth rates had declined and outbreaks of epidemic diseases were being controlled. Malthus' predictions were proved false because both food production and standard of living continued to rise despite the rapid growth of population. Malthus was also criticized by liberals and Marxist scholars for asserting that poverty was caused by population growth. So we have different type of people with different types of opinion. They are not thinking that poverty is due to population growth. Now many people are there who believe that if you are having more children, they will earn more. They forget that they will eat more, they will consume more, they will take everything more. So it depends on the mentality of the people. We have different type of persons. Birth rate had declined and outbreaks of epidemic diseases were being controlled. The critics argued that problems like poverty and starvation were caused by the unequal distribution of economic resources rather than by population. So this could be a right point according to me. There is a lot of money in this world. Many more wealthy people are there. What they believe, few critics believe that this is not due to the population growth. This is due to the unequal distribution of the money, distribution of the natural resources. Who is powerful, who is rich, have everything. Those who are poor, they cannot afford anything. So this is the unequal distribution of the wealth or economic resources. The other thing is an unjust social system allowed a wealthy and privileged minority to live in a luxury while the vast majority of the people was forced to live in a poverty. We can witness this problem, we can witness this fact, correct. When rich people believe that they are fortunate, it's their privilege to live in this way, and the people who are very poor, it's their fault. It's not their choice, but it's the God's will. They are born poor, they will die poor. So come to the next theory of demographic transition. How it popularity growth is linked to overall level of economic development, and that every society follows a typical pattern of development related population growth. So there are three basic phases of population growth. Primitive stage, in primitive stage, underdeveloped countries, Africa. Second stage, developed countries, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, etc. Stage of transition. Countries are moving from underdeveloped to developed. Third stage, developed countries like USA, UK. Underdeveloped countries, stage 1. Birth rate is high since people are unaware of advantage of having small families, they are not educated. Second, death rate is also high since health and medical facilities are not available, therefore population is low. So both problems they face. Second is in second stage, and this is related to us, developing countries stage. Birth rate is as high. We live in a patriarchal society where men decide how many children must be born and male child is preferred. Illiteracy and people are ignorant. Death rate is also low since health and medical facilities are available. Therefore, population is high and result in population explosion. Demographic dividend when the working population increases more than the non-working population. In developed countries, birth rate is low, people are educated and aware and use contraceptives, birth control is popularized, death rate is also low because of availability of health and medical facilities. Therefore, population is low, population explosion. When the birth rate of a country is high and the death rate is low because of availability of health and medical facility, therefore population is exploding, increasing. So what are the common concept of population? Common concept of population are birth rate, number of live birth per 1000 population, death rate, number of death per 1000 population. You can also call it mortality rate. Death rate is also known as a mortality rate. Third one, rate of natural increase, difference between birth rate and death rate in an area. 4. Replacement level. Present generation replaces the previous older generation. Next, zero level. Replacement is same number of people replace same number of older generation, called stabilized level. Parent replaced by 2 children. Negative level. Number of people replacing older generation are less, pattern replaced by a child. Next, population explosion. Number of people replacing the older generation is more. Fertility rate, number of live birth between the age of 15 to 49. Total fertility rate, number of women who give birth to children in a particular area at a particular age 15 to 49 years. Infant mortality rate, number of infants who died before belong the age of 1%. Maternal mortality rate, number of women who died during childbirth per 1000 population. Life expectancy, number of years that one is expected to live. Sex ratio, number of female per 1000 male. Age structure, the structure of the population in terms age in India 0 to 15 to 15 to 65, working population above 64. Dependency rate, the number of people who are not working and are dependent on the working population. Ratio of the dependent population to the working population is higher. Demographic dividend, when the working population in a country is more than the dependent on the working population, positive economic growth for the country, although it is a temporary phase. Size and growth of India's population. Today, the population of India is very high, but it has not always been high. Growth has been up and down. Causes, epidemics, natural diseases. Right now, we are facing corona epidemics, disease which is widespread and affect lakhs of people in a large area. That is called the epidemic. Natural, excessive rainfall, man-made. You are knowing what is man-made. Narega, total fertility rate, replacement level, low fertility, age structure of Indian population, demographic dividend, Kerala, advantage, the declining or sex ratio in India, reasons for declining sex ratio, sonography. Sonography is one of the most important factor which affect this. So these are the points we have studied today, and I will explain further more points in my next video. Till then, you study this, you follow this, whatever I explain, and if you are facing any kind of problem, you can ask me, whether you can text me through WhatsApp message or you can comment in the comment box. Okay, so share whatever you feel with me. Till then, goodbye, Jai Hind, my dear children. Take care of yourself. Thank you very much for attending my class.